the Queen and Prince Charles at the state opening of Parliament in the House of Lords at the Palace of Westminster on June 21, 2017. Photo Arthur Edwards, WPA Paul Getty Images Paul Gallagher 3 hours Sunday, September 17, 2017 Buckingham Palace may be fit for the Queen, but not for the next king it seems, according to sources close to Prince Charles who revealed he wants to give it up as a royal residence when he assumes the throne. The 68-year-old believes the palace, the core of which was built for the Duke of Buckingham in 1703, is too large and expensive to maintain for modern family life. Instead, Charles wants to make it more commercially viable for opening it up to the public on a much larger scale than it is possible with the Queen in residence, the Sunday Times reported. The sources told the newspaper that Charles has told staff he does not intend to live at the palace. One said the prince was very comfortable at Clarence House, his London home formerly occupied by the Queen Mother, and both he and the Duchess of Cornwall are believed to be keen to remain living there. "I know he is no fan of the big house, as he calls the palace," a source told the newspaper. "He doesn't see it as a viable future home or a house that's fit for purpose in the modern world. He feels its upkeep, both from a cost and environmental perspective, is not sustainable. What's to say Buckingham Palace can't be opened to the public for at least 6 months, while keeping the staterooms pristine for use during big occasions," another source said. "That would be a modern approach and he'll be thinking along those lines." His vision for a more business-like monarchy HQ also has the backing of the Duke of Cambridge, it is believed. Staff have had informal discussions over the future use of the 775-room palace, which is mainly open to visitors from late July until October while the Queen takes her annual break at Balmoral. Under Charles, the palace might become a museum open for longer periods with an exhibition dedicated to his mother's record-breaking reign. No change yet. Sources have suggested that under Charles the palace would continue to host state occasions and diplomatic receptions and might provide space for his private office and communications team. No major changes to the running of the palace are expected while the Queen is alive. A Clarence House spokesman said Buckingham Palace will remain the official London residence of the monarch. The Duke of York and the Earl and Countess of Wessex occupy flats at the palace, which is undergoing a £369 million urgent overhaul, at the taxpayers' expense, to prevent the risk of fire, flood and damage. The discussions about the palace's future are taking place comes amid reports of differences between senior courtiers at Buckingham Palace and Clarence House over how to manage the transition of power between the Queen, 91, and Charles. Sir Christopher Gite, the Queen's private secretary and most senior courtier, was forced out following a power struggle between Buckingham Palace and the Prince of Wales, it was claimed over the weekend. His demise was sealed by a series of complaints from Charles and his brother, Prince Andrew, to the Queen, who unusually backed her sons over her staff, the Times reported. Sir Christopher suddenly announced in July that he was leaving after 15 years of royal service, loudly insisting that the monarchy was in good shape. He was followed by his assistant private secretary, Samantha Cohen, the third most senior courtier in the Queen's private office. In news http://sanews.co.uk